I got up at 5. Oh, jeez. Good morning, campers. And if it looks a little dim right now, it's because it's just light enough to start hiking at 7:30. I got up at 5. Oh, jeez. I got up at 5. Luckily, there were some other people who arrived after I went to bed, but they tented down the trail. They didn't use the shelter. So when I got up, after I did everything I needed to do inside the tent, I was able to use the picnic table in front of the shelter as a staging area, put stuff on top of so I could organize things and get packed up. So that helped me stay on track. It's just easier to do that on a table than it is on the floor of a tent or on the ground outside the tent. So quickly today, it's about 16 miles, a little over 16. Although I may go a little bit shorter, maybe a half mile or a mile shorter. There are several stealth sites in the vicinity that I'm looking at for today. That'll put me within 4 or 5 miles of hot springs. Make it an easy hike in the morning into hot springs. Get into hot springs like late morning. Go get some lunch or brunch or something in town before I go to the hostel. So and the terrain doesn't look too bad. There's a few ups. Nothing crazy though. There's no giant climbs today. So I'm hoping I can make some good time. 16 miles is a lot to do when you only have about, between 9 and 10 hours of light that you can use, because you need some light at the end of the day to set up your camp and cook and clean up and all that. So it's 7:30 now. I got until 5 o'clock at the most. So that's 9.5 hours to go 16 miles. So I can't dilly-dally, can't take long breaks. So I'm off and running though. It's a cold day. It didn't get as cold last night as they said it was going to get. It was supposed to get down to the 30s. I think it was probably in the mid 40s, the coldest it got. So in any event, oops, I'm in a rhododendron forest here. That's why it's so dark. You can see how quickly it changes here. It's just crazy. So anyway, I'll check back in later once I'm down the trail and we have some more sunlight. Well, that back there is a cabin, log cabin. And the owners, the residents, an older woman and her husband, they make homemade oatmeal cookies and peanut butter cookies. And because it's... Did I go too far? No. And because it's near Halloween, she's got Halloween candy. She's got a little trash can. You can dump your trash. She has a igloo cooler full of spring water, so you can fill up your water bottles if you want. Really nice. Stood there for a good 15-20 minutes talking to her. She likes talking to hikers and having fun, meeting people from all over the world. There's a little sign right here. I'll show you. Sign in the tree. So pretty cool. So anyway, Anakin had been there about 15 minutes before I got there, so she broke camp pretty early, got out a little earlier than I thought she would have. So she's a good half hour at least in front of me right now. Maybe even 45 minutes. So anyway, I'm heading out. That was a nice treat. Those are good oatmeal cookies. Not like the typical, what you think of with an oatmeal cookie. There's like apricots in there and cinnamon, and you could tell it was homemade, fresh. She had them in little paper baggies, so you could take one with you if you wanted to. I just ate mine there, and then I took a Snickers for Halloween. She had Halloween treats. So, all right, I got a big uphill here, but that was kind of a fun treat. Another quick lesson in engineering a solution for a water source. There's just this kind of stagnant water here. Very little flow to it. Very difficult to get. You could probably scoop it out of that little pool. But there was a pipe So what I did, I took the pipe, I found a spot where the water was flowing. I put the pipe there, I put a rock on top right here to hold the pipe in place. I put a little rock here to kind of direct the water into the pipe. Now the water's coming out the pipe, as you can see. And I scooped out a little trough down here to lay your bottle in. You put your bottle right up against that, and just lay it there and let it fill. And it filled my bottle about 2/3 full in probably a minute. So it's an otherwise unappealing source of water, but you can make it work if you have the right tools. Hey, so I just had a little break at the Spring Mountain shelter. Crappy shelter, really bad shape. Needs to be repaired or frankly torn down. It's too small, too short, too decrepit. No good tenting right around the shelter. You have to go down the trail a ways. The water's a long distance downhill. Not a good place to camp. But there was like 5 other women there. Anakin was there, but also these 4 women who were doing a section hike, basically. Card camping in between. So it was kind of funny. 6 of us at a picnic table, randomly having lunch together. So it's a beautiful day, you know, sunny out, but it's cold. It's crisp. You sit in the shade and you start getting cold. My fingers are kind of numb. I got to get moving here and get the blood going again because it was chilly. One of the women went out and she sat in the sun. She was like, I'm too cold in the shade. So, you know, fall is definitely here. That's what's causing the colors to start to change. You know, you're getting some colors. Not a lot in these woods that I've been in the last couple of days, but when you look out in the hillsides, the mountains, you can see there's more color out there. I would guess 30 to 40% of the trees are starting to show their color from what I've seen. So looking forward to the Smokies, but I'm only about 7 miles from where I'm going to camp today, or at least where I'm planning to camp. We'll see what it's like when I get there. It's a stealth spot. There's a water source not far from it, which is one of my important takeaways. I need water. I don't want to walk a long way or carry it a long way. And I just booked my room at the Laughing Heart Hostel. I decided to get a private room, even though it's more money. It wasn't a lot more money. So it was like another $15 or something, extra $15 to get a private room. So that way, number one, I can sleep better because I don't sleep well in bunk rooms, but also I can edit videos in peace and quiet. So if I decide, you know, it's too much activity, if there's a lot of other hikers having conversations and watching TV in the common area, I can just go back to my room, close the door, and sit in there and edit videos all day. A lot of the restaurants and stuff are closed in Hot Springs on Monday or Tuesday or both. Unfortunately, I'm going to be there on Monday and Tuesday. So there will be things that are open, but just like the tavern's not open Monday or Tuesday. I'm like, okay, guess I'm not going to the tavern. There's another restaurant that's not open on Monday. I guess the brewery's open though, so I'll find something. But it's kind of disappointing, you know. It's a pretty touristy town. A lot of hikers come through there also. You would think that places would be open every day of the week, at least during tourist season, you know, until the winter sets in, but guess not. What are you gonna do, right?